Darren Tuttle here for Ferguson Roof Systems. For 43 years, Ferguson Roof Systems has been protecting Oklahoma's homes and businesses with quality roofing services. Their goal was to be the most honest and dependable roofing company in the state, all while providing free services such as lifetime labor warranty and annual inspections. Well, mission accomplished with thousands of client testimonials, an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, and a 5-star rating on Google. Look, the weather gives you enough to worry about, so why worry about who to trust with your roof? Call Ferguson Roof Systems today or find out more at fergusonroofsystems.com.
Hey everyone, Meteorologist Darren Tuttle back with you on a Wednesday. Today is November the 11th, and you hadn't seen me in a while. I know, been a little MIA, so I had to get a little, little R&D and R&R. Probably didn't get enough R&R, so I come back refreshed. It didn't quite work out in my plans, but it's okay. That happens. Hey, we're already checking in on the Stars game tonight. Who's in there? Diana's already dropped 100. Diana, you are a sweetheart, so thank you for that. So that has sent some stars at the bottom of your phone, or even on your tablet or your computer. It's right next to where you put in a comment. So if you want to drop me some stars, I will, just jump over heels for you. So I'm back from the engagement, so I see a lot of Jody fans in here tonight. So I swear Jody's got more fans than I do now. It's cute. But so you guys can chat for a little bit. What we're going to do is talk about the weather here for the next few days, because we do have a little bit of rain coming. And then as we head into the extended outlook, we'll show you, or we're going to have more of a mild here for the rest of November. How does Thanksgiving look? All that kind of stuff. So we're going to get into that too. So thanks for joining me. Marianne's in the house. Marianne, I appreciate you. She's got 100 stars dropped right now. And you're welcome. And thank you. Okay, so let's get on with the task at hand. So this is temperatures out there this evening, and it's cold. We're about a quarter till 10 o'clock. Let me refresh this because it's been a while since I looked at this map. Oh, it really didn't change much. So we're basically in the 40s, and there's some 30s still. Actually, below freezing the Panhandle. So it's going to be a little cold. Jody, you're cute. Team AT. So if you have some stars, I'll do you a little shout out. I'll just glance down on my phone every now and then. So what's going to happen here is this is the upper levels of the atmosphere. So this is, all the colors you see on the map represent energy. Brian's in the house, 50 stars. Thank you, brother. So this little energy will zip on by west to east. So these lines represent the flow. And this flow across our country is west to east. Not a whole lot of dip, not a lot of amplitude, right? This guy right down here, you know what that is? That's a tropical storm, or Eta, hurricane. It's been back and forth for the last, good grief, probably week and a half now. But now it's going to finally hit into Florida and then just kind of weaken. It's a big rainstorm for those guys, nothing too dramatic. So let's take a look and see how things progress over the next few days. You can see some of that colored energy does work its way here in the Central Plains. It does impact Oklahoma here as we head into Thursday and on into Friday. So you can see more of it kind of keeps coming on through. Note, it's not like a well-defined one punch and gone. It tries to do that up here in the Northeast. It starts to get better organized for the Great Lakes in the Northeast, but not for us, not in time for us. So we're not going to get a whole lot of rain out of this, but we'll at least get some. And of course, as we head into the fall, that was the Cancun forecast for Thanksgiving. Hey, I'm telling you, a lot of people going to Cancun these days. Just read an article about it, that they're increasing flights left and right because everybody wants to get the HE double hockey sticks out of the U.S. and everywhere else in Canada and go down there and escape. I don't blame them. Okay, so that's how the upper levels of the atmosphere is going to look. All right, so it's not a huge storm system, just a little upper level ripples of energy. We call it kind of like little areas of lift that creates a cloud cover and then creates a little bit of rain. So this is how that'll look on the radar map. It will not look very impressive, I can tell you. So this is Thursday afternoon in the evening hours. A few bubbling showers across far southern Oklahoma along a weak leftover frontal boundary. As we go through time, they kind of percolate across northern Texas for Sunday night. Sunday night? Where'd I get that word from? Throw that out. Just pretend like I didn't say that. I'm just going to look over here and go, Friday morning, some rain in northern Texas, and then that kind of slips across the border for the rest of Friday during the day. Just really light passing showers. If you have any outdoor activity plans, it's kind of stuff to kind of keep getting your windshield wet, kind of keep things damp off and on. The rain continues over Friday night, and then here's Saturday morning. Still some lingering pockets of showers in the morning hours, but then that's it. So the bulk of the rain here is mainly across central, southern, and then eastern Oklahoma. What does that look like when you kind of add all those hours up of just light off and on rainfall, drizzle, etc., sprinkles? Not too much, but at least enough for some of us to get, something of consequence. In other words, the models do pick up about a ½ inch where you see these little spots of blue that shows up. So that's basically the best we can do. Otherwise, a lot of this is going to be a 1/10 of an inch to a quarter or a 1/3 of an inch, which again, it's not a lot, but it's enough. You just need to get a little bit of water in the ground. So that's a look at your rain event here coming up into our late Thursday night, Friday, and early Saturday morning. Now that gets out of here some time for the weekend, so that's some good news. So speaking of weekend weather, let's take a look at your extended outlook here. So a little chilly because of the cloud cover and the rainfall for our Friday. So enjoy Thursday. It's not a bad day overall. And then again, Friday be cold. Saturday, 48 degrees in the morning. So the storm system as it comes by will kick in the winds a little bit, and it will clear things out. It should be a nice day on Saturday, probably a little breezy, 73 degrees. And then we're back into the 60s after that, so much more fall-like around here. Overnight lows back into the 40s as well. It extended and Monday, there you go, there's 36 and 39 on Tuesday. So there will be some 30s that show up even Friday morning. Models seem to like the mid-30s, even with the cloud cover and sprinkles of rain, which is kind of impressive. Not sure I'll buy that, but we'll see. But that's look at let's call it short-term, even though that is a long-term forecast through Sunday, the November 22nd. Now, that takes us into Thanksgiving Day week. Now, this is just going to be one model's view of it, so it just gives us an idea, because this is going way out there in time. But our typical up and down pattern for fall will continue. So there's those 60s, peaking maybe low 70s, back in the 60s, and the week of Thanksgiving we're right back probably into the 60s, and then Wednesday the 25th, so we're 53 in the morning, 62 in the afternoon, and on Thursday itself we're 38 in the morning, 57 in the afternoon. So if you got kids and family coming over, they need to go outside and get some air, some fresh COVID-free air. They can do it. It'll be fine. Light jackets, probably is what's going to happen, and that'll be fine. So there you go. So that's kind of a look at the far extended outlook here in Oklahoma City. Now, this will be similar in other areas of the state. I'll go ahead and show you the big picture. We'll look at the maps so I can kind of give you an idea. Also, before I forget, and before I do that, real quick, if you didn't see my post of the day, you see this right here? See what that is? That's a zipper. See what this is? That's a hood. These are drawstrings. It's long sleeve. This is a zip hoodie. Woohoo! So, you guys have asked me for zip hoodies for like forever. And so finally, the company I work with, they decided to bring that hot item. Good grief, 2 years late, but they brought it. And so now I can offer it for you. So if you're interested in getting a zip hoodie, they are available. They're available in 3 different colors. They got different styles, different sayings on the back. You can pick whichever you want. And this is off my bonfire site. So how do you get there? Well, you can go to my website, aarontotalweather.com, a weather app itself, AT's Weather to Go. And in there's a tab, a menu tab, that says AT Store. If you go to AT Store, it lists several things that I offer, and one of them is bonfire gear. Conversely, you can just go to my Facebook page on the walls, scroll down, I think just one post maybe, or 2 posts, and it's right there too, the direct link. So check that out if you want. All right, so let's go back to the main shot here. Let's transform this over into temperatures, and let's see how things look, shall we? We'll first start with European. It's kind of it goes out pretty good distance in time, but we're going to go out really long range after that. But I want to show you here where the cold air is. See all the purple? That's the really cold stuff, and you see where that's kind of staying as I put this into motion. It's all across Canada as we're going into the middle part of next week onward to the start of the week of Thanksgiving. So all the really cold stuff stays up there into Canada, where they're getting to the below 0 temperatures again. So not good for those folks, but they're used to it. They'll start plugging in their car batteries. All right, at least we don't have to do that here in Oklahoma. Could you imagine plugging in car batteries? Okay, so we're going to go now to the very long range, and we're going to look at the American model that'll go out there in time. So same idea, most of the cold stuff here into Canada. when does it come south? When is our first good, really shot of some, winter-like type air? What's this right here? So we're looking now. Let's see. Yeah, that's kind of what we saw on the map, or on the extended when I showed you the bar graphs. A couple of cold mornings in there. So it's got us a couple of cold mornings coming up, and this is on the 24th of the month. And you can see how the rest of the country looks. So basically from I-40 east and west to north is put the brakes on for the really cold stuff. And I call that really cold stuff for us, but it's really not that bad. But nothing brutal. So all the brutal stuff stays into Canada. So we'll leave it at that. I'm going to zoom in real quick to just Oklahoma. Let's see. Yeah, Oklahoma. And then we can take a look here at Thanksgiving week. All right, so let's go Tuesday. See, so there's Wednesday morning. There's some 20s on the map. So this will be chilly in the morning. And then there's, let's see, go to Wednesday afternoon. Model's going, woo, chilly, 40s. So this differs from the other model I showed you, and they're both the American model. One runs at a different time, and one is a newer version of the other. So those two models don't even agree. That's why you don't want to go too far out in time, because it gets a little too hairy. But just for giggles, we're looking at it now, because it's just now getting into that period of 384 hours away. Which, that's a lot of dartboards between now and then. But there's Thursday morning, it's in the 40s. And then I think the afternoon it's got us in the 60s. So fingers crossed that works out, for our Thanksgiving, and everything's going to look good. Heck yeah, Brian, of course, definitely remember. That was a fun, weird deal altogether. And no, I couldn't have done it without you. So that was totally awesome. So appreciate that. Let me think. I think that was really the main thing, because when it comes to storm systems, I will show you that output, and it's not all exciting. I mean, we're not really going to be in a good rain pattern here for a while. So that was a quick shot for this end of the week, and then where are we? Come on, it's in there somewhere. There it is. A signal for rain with that stronger front that comes in on Monday the 23rd. And it may not even be a rain for everybody. It may just be a rain for eastern Oklahoma kind of a deal. But that's it. I've got nothing else for you. No snow, no nothing. Now, some of you are saying, Lisa's in the house with 100 stars. Thank you, Lisa. So some of your maps can, if I can say that again in English, some of you may be asking. Brains running two things together. Those long-term winter outlooks that you see, matter of fact, the long-term outlooks you see any time of the year, they're mostly garbage, just so you know right out of the bat. They rarely verify. There's very little skill with them. It's fun. It's something to talk about. It's water cooler talk. It's everybody wants to know, as though that we can give you that and it'd be totally rock solid. And the funny thing is that we can tell you that, and I could be as sincere as possible. When the season's over, you won't even remember what I said, the 3 months prior. And you'll just walk away thinking it was either cold or warm, or it was snowy or dry. I mean, that's what you're going to do, and then you're going to forget all about it, and you're going to be focused on spring in the next season. That's just the way our brains are wired. So even though it's fun to talk about, there's very little value in that, other than it's just fun to talk about. And we like to talk about stuff. And weather is one of them, because it ain't politics. It's the one thing you can talk about and not throw turkey legs at each other at the dinner table. So that's probably the main reason why that happens. But anyway, so that was a lot of congratulations. Thanks, guys. And Jody, I see you there. So real quick, for those folks didn't know, Jody and I went down to Cancun for a little vacation. I did not intend to do any weather while I was down there. I did bring my laptop because in case something happened and I needed it for something. And it turns out I had to use it. We were going to have a dinner, beach dinner, and I had it, and I didn't even look at the weather, and then it rained before that, and they canceled on me. And they told me to pick another day, so I was like, oh, because of the hurricane that was developing east of us, I was like, oh no. So now you look at the weather. So I pick a day. Where it's not going to rain. And I picked a good day. I was like perfect. I mean, if we had done the beach dinner, it would have worked out. And so I was proud of myself for getting the forecast right way down there in Mexico, using limited, data sets than what I have up here for the U.S. But whatever, we ended up going inside anyway because a whole other slew of issues. But it worked out, and then we got engaged that evening. So yes, she said yes before I even asked the question, really. And then we quickly had to prepare for a hurricane that came in the next day. And that was while you guys were starting to experience the ice storm. So a lot was going on here during that window of time, which made that vacation not a vacation at all. It's just like, oh my gosh, why did I pick this field? So it's fine. And then we came back, and here we are. So still getting caught up. I'm gone for too long. You should see the amount of stuff I get caught up on. It takes me forever. For you guys like me, you see those emails, they just pile up, and part of me just wants to hit, click the first one, and then hit the shift key, hit the last one, and then hit delete. That's the only way. Otherwise, it's just like, So I eventually get through them all little by little. I'll eventually catch up. It may take me a month, but I'll get there. So anyway, so that's kind of what's been on here lately. And then don't have really much for you. This time of the year is kind of boring, can be, but it can also sneak in like a severe weather day sometimes when the pattern is right. But our pattern hasn't been right at all. The last one we had a small chance of seeing some severe weather, but the storm system came in about 12 hours off timing. It needed to come in either much earlier in the day or just come into the next day. So Monday and Tuesday, it was a sad display of storms for us. Most of the decent storms just for rain was up in Kansas, so we didn't get much here in Oklahoma. Would have been nice to see more, but it is what it is. So every year is different. You never really know. And then if you hear terms like La Nina and El Nino, and those are great. Those are big weather drivers, but so are many other indices and teleconnections across the entire globe. And they're all kind of given a weighted average, but it's all a guesswork. And the skill level still long term is just not where it needs to be. Even some of that stuff was tried to use for tornado forecasting in the spring. The first couple of times they tried it, it looked like there was some good correlation. We're like, hey, we're onto something. And then this year, 2020, it stunk at what happened. So they try. I'm telling you, research, keep trying, and maybe down the road, we'll get better and better. And I think we've talked about this before, but AI, artificial intelligence, that's getting into everything. I mean, when all of your social media stuff, you hear about it a lot. In the movies, you hear about it. So in weather, you'll also start to hear about it. And it may take some time, but it'll get there. And then finally, I'll just touch on this real quick. Not many of you left for tonight, but those that are, I put a post on there about changing your social media accounts over and boycotting Facebook or whatever is going to be the flavor of the day or the month, right? Because everybody gets worked up over politics and these companies that ban select groups of people or whatever. And so I made a post of the day, and it wasn't to get into any of that, because that's all a personal preference, and then you can squabble all day long and pick sides. My whole point was to bring light to it that all of these platforms are subject to censorship from the top down. So no matter what platform you jump to, they have to answer somebody higher to them. So if somebody doesn't like whatever content's on that platform, it can trickle down from way up here to force this user off or the platform to shut down. So there's a lot of hands in the pot, so to speak, on any social media platform that tries to get going these days. So that was to bring light to that aspect. And then the flip side is, by you trying to run from one to another because you don't like what's on this one, so you're going to go to this one because they don't ban people or they don't do this or fill in the blank. Eventually it'll happen anyway. So, but the process of that, it frustrates me because I got to track everybody down. You guys are like ants. And you're going different directions. I'm like pulling my hair out, going, stop! I need you on one platform. So that was the other part of the blog, is how do I reach everybody in a fragmented world of social media? You have some of you over here, now some of you over here, and some of you over here. And then each of these platforms can be in infancy of their development. Remember, Facebook's been around forever, so they finally got it mastered out as far as making things work. Some of these others, they're jerky, they're hokey, they don't have all the functions or features. So as a creator, I'm just like, let's say, for example, everybody goes to Parler, and everybody's on Parler. Well, Parler's more like a Twitter than it is a Facebook. Many of you aren't even on Twitter. So it's more like that. It's got limited functionality. And then for me as a creator, I can't broadcast live on it. There's no live function. So what good does that do me, right? So I mean, I can post a blog, and I can type a post like I can do on Facebook or Twitter, but it's much more limited. So that's just one example. So it's frustrating on my end because there's none of these that perform kind of like what I need as a creator side to reach you. But I get it. I get the whole, everybody has different standards and morals and ethics, and whether or not what they're going to put up with or not put up with. I get all that. So it's not to pick sides. It's just to highlight the frustrations of the current state of the environment with censorship and selective censorship, versus across the board. It'd be one thing if all these companies would just upset everybody all at once. But if they pick and choose certain groups or factions as half this and the other half doesn't, it just causes chaos. And I'm left over here going, all right, what do I do now? So that's just the way it is. But as a creator, you guys don't see that or think about that, whereas I have to. So I have to keep tabs on all this stuff just so I can try to plan ahead on where I would go or what I would do and how I would reach you to give you the weather information. And then what can I do that doesn't cost me an arm and a leg, maybe to change something, make it different. So I'm always having to kind of stay into that game. So keep in mind, if you don't want to use Facebook for whatever reason from this point out, just turn you can leave your notifications on for, like, say when I go live. You can turn everything off for everyone else. I mean, seriously, if you really don't want to use it ever, you don't care about anybody else, that's how I would do it. And that way you at least get notified when I go live. Otherwise, just don't use it or open it, right, on your phone. Or you can just move over to YouTube and then just get the subscribe and hit the bell on YouTube, and then you can get me when I go live there as well. I'm looking at like something like a Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, or Apple TV or something like that. All that's going to cost money, development time, and I'm just kind of like, all right, so do I even bother with that? Because that's, or just stick with what's working, which is YouTube, Facebook, because they are, what they do is great, and it's already set up and it runs. Also do it on Periscope, which goes through Twitter. So if you want to try that as an option. And I think that was probably about all I wanted to mention about that. Some people just took that post the whole wrong way. Somebody said, I know who you stand for now. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, because there was no stance given. It wasn't a political post. So people will read whatever they want to read was my summary of that. There is a lot of reading comprehension that is not taught very well in schools these days, I guess. So I don't know. And I went back and read like 3 or 4 times, like, where do you see this? And I tried to read it from a different viewpoint, a different perspective. And I was like, I don't see anything that says anything where I'm leaning anyway, one way or the other. I'm just saying, hey, this is what's going on out there. And it's driving me crazy trying to keep all of you guys under one place. So, but it is what it is. Okay. Yes, I'm on YouTube, Amanda. I've been on YouTube forever. I don't even remember when I signed up. I did this Facebook thing starting 2010, the page, and so it's probably YouTube was probably about that time frame. Oh boy, oh Jody, you're so funny. My cousin Holly checked in. Good to see you, cousin. Let's see. I miss our family get-togethers, like the old days. I was scrolling through some of the comments. Again, thank you for the stars. Always appreciated. Well, I'm going to get on out of here and maybe do some lives again at some point here and have like maybe different discussion topics or something. I don't know. I'll do some brainstorming. But I want to thank you for watching tonight, and I hope your evening goes well and you get good night, restful sleep. All right, we'll talk again soon. Good night, everybody.